Hey, how's it going, guys? It is Olivier, and today I'll share with you my full investing portfolio update for the month of May of 2025. So, as always, I'll first uncover what are the different individual companies and ETFs that I have in my portfolio, and then we'll take a look at what is the sectoral distribution of the assets of my portfolio, followed by how much income have I been able to generate from the dividends of the companies and ETFs that I have in it, and we'll finish by taking a look at what are the different transactions that I've made over the past month. So without losing too much time, let's take a look first at what are the different individual companies that I have into the technology sector, where you can see that I hold most of the big GAFAM, so companies such as Apple, Meta, Google, and Amazon, as well as Elon Musk company Tesla. At the moment, the value of these companies are pretty much all about 5 to 6% of the total assets of my portfolio. And even if the market is on a certain decline lately, I've been able to make some great gains on most of these companies, especially in a company like Meta, where I've been able to make over 167% of upside compared to the average price that I've paid for it. But as I always mention, this is only some unrealized gain or losses, and it doesn't include all the profit or potential loss that I've made on certain of all of these companies and ETFs that I have in my portfolio. Now, when we take a look at the second sector in my portfolio, which is the energy sector, you can find that I still hold some of the biggest Canadian energy companies, which are Enbridge and Pembina. And on their side, they've been able to perform quite well lately, especially a company like Pembina that currently has some upside of close to 100% compared to the average price that I've paid for it. For the financial sector, I also still hold the two companies that I had in the past month. So one of the largest Canadian banks in the form of the Toronto Dominion Bank, as well as one of the largest insurance companies in the world, Manulife. In the case of Manulife, it has been able to tremendously well perform these past couple of weeks and months with some unrealized profit of over 117%. And in the case of TD, it has been able to perform slightly less better compared to a company like Manulife because of the bad news that they've had over these past 2 years, notably the cancellation of their First Horizon deal 2 years ago, or more recently, the different problems that they face concerning some potential money laundering allegations. However, the scenario hasn't been that bright when it comes to the telecommunication company TELUS that I have, which is currently down more than 21% compared to the initial price that I've paid for it. On its side, the consummation company Couche-Tard, that has been giving me some great dividends lately, has been able to perform fairly okay lately with some unrealized profit overall of over 26%. In the case of Savaria, I still hold this company, which is great when it comes to building different wheelchair and stairlift solutions for older people, where this monthly dividend company has been able to currently have some unrealized profit of over 16%. For the real estate investment trust company Raucan, which hasn't been moving that much the past month, we've seen that I currently have over 6% of my assets in it, and that it's currently up close to 40%. And finally, for my super small stake in the 5 and Plus company, which represent less than 1% of my assets, I currently have some upside potential of over 43%. Now, when it comes to the ETF section, you can see that by far the largest ETF in my portfolio, which represents over 10% of my total assets, is the Vanguard S&P 500 Index ETF with the ticker VFV. This fund that seeks to track the 500 largest American companies by valuation is currently up by more than 35% compared to the average price that I've paid for it. Then for my global stock market tracker, I've decided to invest in the iShares Core Equity Portfolio ETF with the ticker XEQT. On its side, this fund that only represents about 3.24% of my assets right now is up about 9.76% compared to the initial price that I've paid for it. For my Canadian ETF tracking the Canadian market, I have decided to invest into the iShares S&P TSX Index ETF with the ticker XIU. On its side, this fund doesn't also worth a lot of my total assets, where it's only worth about 3.45% of it, and it's currently up about 16% on the average price that I've paid for it. I also have a few shares of the famous Schwab US Dividend Equity ETF with the ticker SCHD. On its side, you can also see that it doesn't have a big ponderation, where it represents about 1% of my assets, and it is currently up about 6.47%. Finally, for my liquid liquidity reserve that I am using to pay different expenses, notably related to my real estate property. I have decided to invest into the Global X High Interest Savings ETF with the ticker cash. And at the moment, you can see that this liquidity reserve is only worth about 7.83% of my total assets. This makes that in total, my investing portfolio is currently worth about $154,500, which represents some unrealized profit of over $45,000 or some unrealized gain of 41%. Then in terms of my ETF position, you can see that I still have the two big objectives that I had in the past, which is to increase my international ETFs that I have and to also increase my exposure to XEQT as well as XIU. But at the moment, you can see that my ETFs are currently worth about $56,000. When it comes to the sectoral distribution of my assets, you can see that by far the two largest sectors are the technology and the ETF section. And then we can see two other sectors that are coming on top, which are the energy sector as well as the finance sector. And finally, we find the other sectors such as the real estate sector, the consumption sector, the material sector, as well as the communication sector. Then for the monthly dividend income that I have been able to generate from the different companies and ETFs that I hold in my portfolio, you can see that the monthly income that I've made over the past month of April has been of $222.71, which makes that my annual total up to date is of close to $800. Finally, as you can see, I have made 0 transactions in the stock market over the past month of April because I had multiple fees to pay, notably related to my property, as well as different taxes to pay. But over the next couple of months, I have multiple places in which I want to invest my money in the stock market. So on your side, if you're looking to find out where am I going to invest my money for the rest of 2025, check out the video. That's gonna be right over here, and I will see you soon. Peace.